Welcome back to PV Online. Today we're going to do a couple conversions going from grams to mole and mole to grams. Now the reason that that's important is if we compare one substance to another, we can't do it using mass because the mass of each element is different. So instead we're going to convert it with respect to the number of moles of the substance. So the two conversions that we're going over today are going to be hugely important. Now, the very first part of the assignment is going to be converting grams to moles. And in other words, you're going to be starting with a mass of a substance, and we want to find out how many moles are present. So in this first example, it says how many moles of nitric acid are present in a 28.5 gram sample of nitric acid. The first thing that you want to do always is going to be to write down what you're given. So you want to write down what you're given. And in this case, I'm given that I have 28.5 grams of nitric acid. Now we want to go to the number of moles, so I have to convert the grams to moles. Now I get this 63.01 gram per mole from the molar mass. This is the molar mass of the nitric acid. And I get this molar mass by using the molar masses on the periodic table and adding up the mass of hydrogen, nitrogen, and 3 oxygens. So the molar mass, I could either set it up as the ratio with grams in the numerator and moles in the denominator, or I could flip it and make it moles in the numerator and grams in the bottom. Now in this case, I want to end up with moles of nitric acid. So I have to have moles of nitric acid in the numerator, and I'm trying to get rid of the grams, so I want grams in the denominator, which means we're going to use this for our conversion factor. So I start with what I'm given, and then I'm going to multiply it by the conversion factor. Now it is important that I have the 1 mole of nitric acid in the numerator, and I need to put the 63.01 grams of nitric acid in the denominator. Now from a math standpoint, since the grams is in the numerator and the grams of nitric acid is in the denominator, those two units cancel out, leaving me with just moles of nitric acid. So now all I need to do is take my 28.5 and I'm going to divide the 63.01. Anything that's in the numerator, I multiply together. Anything in the denominator, I'm going to divide. And that leaves me with 0.452, and the only unit left is moles of nitric acid. So now I can compare nitric acid to some other substance if I chose to. The first part of the assignment is going to be dealing with this gram to mole conversion. The second half of the assignment is going to be switching it, going from moles to grams. So now we've got this question where it says find the mass of 1.5 moles of ethanol. So just like we did before, I always start with what I'm given. And so we're given the 1.5 moles. These two ratios, where did I get the 46.07? I used the molar masses from the periodic table and added 2 carbons to 6 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, giving me 46.07 grams for every 1 mole of ethanol. If I had 1 mole of ethanol, which simply means I've got a whole lot of them, but they're at least the same number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. These are the two ways that I can set up my ratio. So always start with what you're given, and we're given 1.5 moles of ethanol. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm showing work. There will be assignments where you have to show work, and this is what we're looking for. All right, so I need to multiply it by a ratio. Now we need to choose. I'm finding the mass, which means I want grams when I'm done. I want to get rid of moles. So in order to do that, I want grams in the numerator. I want moles in the denominator, which means the correct ratio, which is going to leave me with 46.07, and that's going to be grams of ethanol in every 1 mole of ethanol. Now from a unit standpoint, what's happening? There's moles of ethanol here, moles of ethanol there. The two units cancel out. Now, what will I do with the number 1.5 and 46.07? I'm going to multiply those. They're both in the numerator, so I multiply them, resulting in a mass of 69.11 grams of ethanol. Now, doesn't that sort of make sense that if 1 mole had a mass of 46.07, 1.5 moles will have half as again and more? All right, good luck with this assignment, and we'll see you next time.